Actually, that ties in very well into the next topic. Identity.
Identity.
You know?
Uh-oh.
I believe
Here we go.
whenever things go super wrong, I'll take a sip for that.
I have to take a sip for that one.
Like, I think that everyone ends up just kind of like in that wondering of who am I, and like and suffering. Actually, the story of suffering typically always leads to this, like, who am I? What is this for? Why are we here? What do we do? You know, like the questions that like are there.
How do I enjoy myself in that
Yes,
moment?
yes, and like that's I think
That's super like, oh my god, how do I enjoy myself in the present moment? Like, come on, like you gotta have energy. You gotta have energy, and you gotta, be healthy. Like, what are the requirements, or what are the things that I need to, fully express myself in the present moment? And that's just, it's amazing. It's like a pillar. It's a cornerstone.
Yeah, and like, that's the first thing I think that you kind of realize when you start asking that question is like the only answer, like where it starts is that how do I enjoy right now? Like what can I do with myself having whatever's around me?
Yeah, exactly. With everything present, how can I best use what's present? Like it's very like there's a guy named Bashar.
Bashar.
Yeah, and that was his basic kind of like motto is like, in the present moment, like do what you want to do and follow that energy as far as it goes until the next thing. And that's just like who we are, as beings, as souls beyond the body. It's just this continual journey, and it's just going deeper and deeper. But it's all about, like you may want to make, clothes or do design, 1 year, but the next year you may want to do art. The next year you may want to do this. And that's like natural, but it's amazing when we get to string it all together and work with people that can, build a network. But it's also very natural to like bounce between different, interests and stuff, and like, that idea was just to keep moving, keep finding things that make you happy and keep, enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a vibe for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have a personal problem with being in the moment. I mean, self-preservation is one of my biggest things.
Yeah.
So it's like I just, kind of sit and observe and then open up from there. That's like a defense mechanism that I have. So, but it comes definitely from suffering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, see, yeah. So like, in that very sense, though, as you grow that's like, that is actually the ability to be in the present moment. To like not interject yourself immediately, because a lot of people are the exact opposite for the exact same reason, though. Like a lot of people will inject themselves into the group setting, blah blah blah, out of that insecurity. And because they're not quite
it doesn't
that
move
moment
anywhere.
either. So like in the same sense, like you're able to take your time and to get to that moment, and then just let that happen. And that has a lot to do with like having life be for you, is to like have the enjoyment of letting it happen when it wants to happen. And you're just
because like it's good because the people that like you're associating with, are like have that ability for you to take your time and get like into it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's definitely like you say, like it's
I'm the same way too a little bit.
It
takes me a while to kind of like get
it going. Like everybody has their own way of conversation. Incorporating
it's
themselves.
so funny actually, because what you said on our first podcast You know, like your entire like first segment of your life was like that.
Yep.
You were just waiting for the right time to jump into
I was a
it.
mute. Look, I was a mute. I was a straight mute, man.
Yeah.
All I could do was listen and understand
Yeah.
and understand oneself.
But you're like soaking up a lot of like
I'm soaking up
information,
everything and all the
Yeah.
information, which
Yeah.
helped me become
Yeah.
who I am today.
Yeah,
So I've
yeah.
been on the let me just sit and observe and listen and vibe, and now I'm on the other side doing it, and it's developing. It's a skill set, and it's a very important skill set to be able to do both, because some people talk too much.
Yeah.
Some people talk too much, and some people don't talk enough.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a balance. And if you're with a person who incorporates themselves slowly, and if you're with the person who incorporates themselves fastly, and if you can balance it out, it'll be a good tag team.
Exactly.
You know, and it's all about using everybody's way of doing things, like you said, how can everybody incorporate themselves into everybody's way of doing things, and developing and growing, because the universe puts people who should be put there, and it allows people who should stay there stick.
I mean, out of the what billions of people? Not trillions. The billions.
They was gonna go in on you, boys.
Comment section.
Trillions.
No, I know it.
This
We're
guy.
good. We're good.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Put the drink down.
I mean, there is only the present moment, and then out of all the people you could be, with, you're with those people. So of course, it's very like it's awesome.
And then the experiences that you experience with people that aren't always so good. That helps you grow and evolve, and sometimes it'll put you in direction to meet other people that are good for you. Every identity helps create an identity.
Yeah, it shows you something. It shows you something.
Shows you something. You learn something. I say that.
Yeah, and like that's something that I came to thinking about and was very perplexed, because like it kind of led me to free choice, because if every identity creates an identity, and many people identify with either what they do or their surroundings, like where they were born, who they were born
become
to,
their environment.
And so if they're
it can be easily manipulated that way.
Yeah, and so like that leads to, if that's the case, if their identity is based on their geographical termination, and identities create identities,
Okay.
then what the fuck are we?
I mean, you can't really describe it with words.
Oh, clearly.
But if you try, what were you about to say? Before you lose that thought.
I wasn't even saying anything,
Oh,
but I was thinking it.
Something.
I was just thinking, as far as when you ask like, what are we? I believe Earth is a learning vessel.
Yeah.
You come here to learn, to develop your soul. You develop your soul, and then if you learn what you need to learn, you can progress.
Oh, that makes 1,000% sense.
Yep.
So, like, I've found that no matter what I do, I've found that, like, the universe, if you look at it metaphorically, is, like, consistently the same. It just looks and feels differently sometimes.
But what made you think of that based on what he said? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did it connect?
What did you say again?
I couldn't
damn.
tell you either, but I remember the idea. Like,
It was the okay, damn. So what I said was, as far as you're here on Earth to develop your soul,
learning.
Like a school.
Alrighty.
Like a school, it's like a school.
Yeah. So, if on every plane of existence, we're talking like leveling up or whatnot,
Leveling up.
you know, is like just a different lesson, but it's the exact same metaphor universally. So it's the exact same pieces. So like you know all these fucking pieces. That makes you put them together faster to get the next lesson because they're all the same pieces, but they're formed up in different ways to form different lessons.
Yep.
You know, and so like whenever you level up, I found that like all the metaphors like it was kind of just the same, just like a little bit weird or a little bit obscure, but like
you mean
but like the like if there were like places in life where people would fill and like you let somebody fall out as you leveled up, then that place would just be filled by somebody else. You know?
Just at a higher level.
Yeah. And so
Well, yeah, because you everybody's put in your life, like we said before, for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, for a reason to help you develop in whatever way that is. And yes, if you do decide to drop someone out, yes, someone will fill that place, but probably would be of a different situation.
Oh, different metaphor.
Different metaphor.
You know, and like that's the same. Like you let one person drop out, and then another person that looks very similar like them and acts some of them, but like don't have like some of the things that you were attached to. Mm-hmm. You know, so that you could still like.
It's more like to me, it's like it's like making it's how you feel knowing. It's how you feel doing what you feel like you have to do, like, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna move through life and you're gonna make the choices that you feel like have to make, but it's like in the aftermath how you feel about the situation, like if you feel like if you're judging it or feeling guilty, and you just keep moving on.
Yeah, it's a continuous learning cycle.
Yeah, and then like the faster you drop shit that can be dropped, that has to be dropped. And the faster you I found the better I feel and the faster I move forward. Instead of like dwelling on stuff, you just like drop it and like move forward. You know?
Yeah, because you're putting so much energy in something that you've already learned to progress. Okay, it's time for the next lesson. Drop that, time to move forward.
Exactly.
And
like,
learn this lesson.
You don't even have the time to even think about or deal with that.
Exactly.
Shit, you know
and we already understand with suffering, it's a learning mechanism. It teaches you something. It grows you. Next,
you like learn some boundaries too. You like if this things are going in this direction, I'm good. Like if that's happening, I'm good. Like how to move through life.
And you get in a flow. You get in a flow, and that's how you become wise.
How you become wise? You become a wise wizard.
That's how you do it.
You become a prophet.
Like there's certain kinds of suffering that you just kind of laugh at, you know, like social awkwardness suffering, like big fucking deal, you know, like but some people that's paralyzing too, you know. It's like there's just that I think that it's all the same kinds of suffering per lesson. And so like as the metaphor changes, as you change and as you grow, the gravity of the suffering and like the way it speaks to you, it doesn't change. And so that's how you can kind of like make a grip on the world when it changes.
And you can I would say understand the suffering. So yeah, you can laugh at suffering. You can laugh in the suffering and it'll feel good.
Yeah.
It'll feel good because you already understand the universe is just like making way, it's clearing air, it's growing you, it's developing you. You already know you're going to get through it just like any other lesson. Mm-hmm. As long as you have that mindset. So it's like people will look at you like, why are you laughing? This is not a laughing moment. We used to have a teacher and she was like an older lady or whatever, right? And then like when somebody the principal came or somebody that did something, drew something on the board or whatever, and the principal came in the classroom, was like, someone's going to get detention or just suspended or whatever. And, you know, he'd make everybody stand in the line. I was like 13 or whatever. And, you know, when people are mad and, you know, like in a serious situation, you find the dumbest things to laugh at. And it was real funny. This lady, she had some red, long nails. She had some Shakandra nails. They was real long, right? And she was just twirling them and twiggling like a little evil little witch lady or whatever. And she was real serious, and she's just making this like horrible face, and it's like it's a serious matter. Why did I even want to laugh? You know, and that's just a different way of dealing with the situation, which is why you have like comedians. I say is like one of the main people. They tell their sufferings through their comedy, jokes, and they laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of ways to handle that. So.
All right. Where I entered this stage was like high school age conspiracy theories.
High school age?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, like all the Illuminati and blah blah. So this is the topic of illusions.
Okay.
So, for instance, like control. The illusions of like control, like we want to control change, but the fact that change happens means that it's out of our control.
It's out of your control.
You
exactly.
know, like because if you could control it, it wouldn't be change. You know,
so like it is so funny because sometimes it gives people like anxiety. Like I want to be able to control it, but like for eternity, you'll exist for eternity, but it'll be in your existence will be in the control of a higher intelligence. You know. So, but it'll be like a collaboration between you and like a higher version of you, you know?
Yeah, because you won't be controlled to the extent you can't control. You want to be controlled to the extent where your controller wouldn't think that you couldn't control that situation by yourself.
But no. By that definition means that the fact that it exists means that they don't believe that you can control, because either why wouldn't they just allow that?
And I do believe, as an earthling, being a human, you got free will.
As you grow and evolve towards a higher level of enlightenment, you lose your free will. You know what I mean? But it's very interesting because free will is the ability to go this way or go that way. You know what I mean? You're at this intersection, you could choose this or you could choose that. I'm able to do this. But when you're at a higher level of enlightenment, you almost always know what to choose. So as you perfect that, you don't necessarily have free will. You are moving in the way God is aligned with you in the present moment. So you don't necessarily you make less what we call mistakes, and your free will technically
you make less choices.
You know.
Yeah, it'll feel like you make less choices. You're just in a state of beingness somewhat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the sayings that I heard that kind of depicts that idea is free choice is choosing the right thing to do. You know, but like, and like,
wait a minute,
and exactly, no matter where you are in life, you'll hear it a little differently, because like it could be the free choice is choosing the right thing to do. Like, is this the right thing to do, or is this the right thing to do? Mm-hmm. But also, as you're transitioning the plane that Satchel is talking about, it's free choice is only choosing the right thing to do. Because there is no wrong.
That's the purpose of going through the, so you can learn how to choose.
Yes, so you can learn how to choose the right thing always, which eliminates choice.
Exactly, that eliminates the free will. Yeah.
So if your identity is generated by your family upbringing surroundings. Mm-hmm. And your options are also generated by the family upbringing and surroundings, then is there really a choice if they're both being created by the exact same thing?
I don't know,
because your personality is programmed to like certain things and dislike certain things at a very young age.
But you can, let's say you happen to use some of the sacred plants and things like this. You work with the shamanic path is what I personally like quite a bit. You get to see more of a organic and real version of some people, and that way you can kind of see through past all the the BS. I forget exactly what you were saying, but what were you kind of saying again?
Well, it's very, very much similar to that. Is that all of the illusions of choice and free will are all just like this mind maze that you've personally concocted to get you to that true identity self that you can sometimes experience on certain shamanic.
Either way, Either way, but by doing that, you have a real personal experience. It reminds me of like the bicycle thing we were talking about earlier, in that you can't have somebody learn how to ride the bike for you per se. You got to really do it yourself, and that you can't eat those shamanic plants. You can't have someone do that for you. You have to really go through it yourself, and it's really kind of that relationship. And that it's something that really pushes your soul forward. It's that the only thing is that our society, the way I feel is that our society will start to format that type of expression, because currently right now, it's going to start what I believe is going to start moving into a way where people can express themselves at a higher frequency. But it's just not working at all.
Good topics right now.
For being the first of millions.
First episode, amazing podcast. Everybody keep tuning in, man.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Take care.
Amen.
But it's just not working at all.
Dans notre quotidien, ces châtaignes